Frankie, my man.
What's happening? What's happening?
Look, it's amazing how we almost didn't do this. Even though you had said it was written in the stars.
It was. I mean, the stars aligned not so perfectly.
Yeah, because I saw your post, how you were going to an outlet mall in Houston.
Yes.
You know, but I put that at the back of my mind. And then a couple of days later, I was like, is Frank still in the States? Let me ask. So I was going to drive all the way to Houston.
Okay,
to come and interview.
Then
you said, no, I'll be in Dallas in a couple of days.
Exactly.
And it was all aligned, and then it almost didn't happen.
It almost didn't happen.
Explain yourself.
Well, the thing is, I came for a family thing. Yeah. You know, I had to be here for my daughter. So when the time I was supposed to leave, I couldn't because she needed something and she was getting exasperated. So as a father, I said, all right, I'll be here. Then I had to call you and appeal to your fatherly instincts also.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you said, no, take your time. You you gotten the place and everything. Yeah. Then you had to crash everything with the crew. I told you, I said, whatever happens.
You said we should go and do it outside in the heat.
I said, let's go and do it outside.
This 105 degrees heat.
You said, it's hot
Have
now.
you felt heat like that in
Nigeria? No.
No, you know, when they tell you in Nigeria that America is hot, if you have never been, you're like,
I usually don't come to America in the summer. Okay. As a rule, I don't. Because I tried one time to go to Dubai around that summertime.
Oh, no. You went around Augustish.
Thank you very much.
August, no. I've never felt heat like that in my entire life.
My scalp was scorching. And I think it affected my common sense.
You know, it worked both ways for me, so I was not comfortable anywhere because it was very hot outside. So they turned up the AC inside.
So
inside is too cold. Outside is too hot.
Do you know I have a cold?
Oh yes, you mentioned.
So it's hot outside.
Yeah.
But inside, you know, where I stay, I have one ceiling fan and also AC coming from the vent, cold air.
Don't worry, you will soon return to a place where you don't have to worry about such things.
I'm telling you.
There's even no light in the first place. There's no light, so it's hot outside, it's hot inside.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, Nigeria is very funny. Do you know there was an estate I used to stay? We all had generators, noisy generators, so it used to go like that. We didn't have light for many months. So when NEPA finally brought light, so everywhere was quiet. But I couldn't sleep because I was used to the noise.
What?
So I had to put on my noisy generator so that I could sleep with lights on. Nigeria is crazy.
Bro, look, we go way back.
People don't know.
You and I, we go way back.
Way back.
I know you remember how, but do you remember when? Do you remember the years?
Yeah. I remember 2000, 2001.
You remember?
Yeah. 2001. When I was with Basoj saw me at a DBN thing. I was emceeing. I was in DBN in 2000. No, 1999, 2000. So Basoj saw me and said, hey, it looks like you know how to MC. I MC. I said, yeah, I see you. And he said, all right, so come, I'll show you how to do it properly. And thank goodness I had the presence of mind to be humble and everything because I had this experience of broadcasting on my shoulders from Calabar. But I came to the Lagos scene and Basoj took me under his wings rather. Then, that was when you came in. So when you came in, I said, I told Basoj, but this guy's an actor now. What was he? He said, yes, you must be multi-versatile. This guy is coming in here also to get that MC thing going. I said, what does he need MC? He's an actor. So he probably knows all he has to do is act like an MC and and that's when we met. We were in the stables of Basoj.
He used to send us out to do his bidding.
Then he would eat all the money. He won't give us anything. Do you remember that part?
Bros, now Frank talked this one.
No. I said what I said, Basoj. I said what I said. Basoj will send you out, but the thing about Basoj is the experience. He opens a whole world of experience. At that age, it gave you the temerity. Yeah,
he threw us in at the deep end.
Yes.
He just said go.
He said just don't worry.
It's a bank.
He said you'll drink a bit of water. You won't drown.
Just go and do it.
Just go. Yeah.
It was good. And then do you remember when you drove to my father's house in Shogule and you picked me up and we went to, you don't know where we went that day. If you do now, I will give you something. Where did we?
Is it Lagos Tennis Club?
No. We went to Mandilas to go and buy materials for shirts. And then you introduced me to that tailor in Fadeyi, Aziz.
Jesus. You even remember the guy's name?
Of course.
Wow. Whoa.
Aziz used to make your shirts.
He used to make my shirts.
Who knows whether he still makes your shirts?
I don't know. He doesn't. I don't even remember his name. You do. Are you sure he doesn't still make your shirts?
No. See, I used him for many years after that.
Oh yeah. Because the thing
years.
used to fit you. You know, there was one uncanny thing about you. Your frame. People look at your frame, but they didn't know that you had like a perfect frame that anything will fit you. You wear a suit, it just goes on. You wear agbada, it glides on, and everything. You had that body. You know.
Thank you. That guy could do that sculpting.
That guy. That thing. He would dart the back of the shirt.
Yes,
and everything. Aziz
could do that.
Yeah, and Basoj also, I believe, gave me the tutelage to always invest in how you look.
Oh yeah, Basoj was that guy.
Yeah, Basoj. I used to see Basoj's shoes. So there was one pair of white shoes Basoj had. I loved it so much. I said, this shoe. I was always hailing the shoe. Then when Basket Mouth came, I think is it Basket Mouth or who? Not Basket Mouth, or one of those comedians. I don't know if it was Agodai or Gandoki. You know, when they came, you know, at that Basoj's place was just like a hub for upcoming talents and everything. And suddenly, the guy was wearing the white shoes. I said, you gave that guy these shoes? He said, yeah. You know, just to encourage him. I don't need encouragement. I like the shoes and everything. I say, forget. No worry. Your next MC job, you will use the money, buy the shoe, you know, and all that. It used to be. It
was great. But I have all these memories of you and I. But the one memory that stands out above all of the others was how I woke up one Sunday morning. I remember I'd woken up in TA's house. You know, this was circa 2003. Because
you were.
I don't think I had a car yet, because for some reason when I woke up in his house that morning, I didn't have a car.
Okay.
So I can't remember whether I didn't have a car yet or if my car was in for repairs or something.
Okay.
Anyway, so the thing was, back in those days, if I went out to do an event that went past midnight, my father wouldn't allow me back in the house.
Yes.
He wouldn't allow me back.
Yes.
There was a day where he stood on our balcony and told me to go back to where I was coming from.
Oh, Dad.
And the whole street was listening. So TA was that guy for me. You know, so I used to sleep in TA's house. So I woke up that Sunday morning and I took a bike, an Okada, from the front of Country Club through GRA to drop at PWD. And then walk to our house. So as I was about to enter the gate, one of our drivers came in with the papers, you know, because my father got the papers and said, go and give daddy. And right there, on the front of Punch, one of the cover stories was a headline that I'm going to try to quote verbatim, even though it's been so many years. I might not get it. You know, he said, Punch, Sunday. He said, broadcaster Frank Edoho beats out industry heavyweights like RMD, Patrick Doyle, Dan Foster to clinch the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire job.
Wow.
And right there in front of the gate, I called you. I don't know if you remember that phone call and what I said.
I remember.
I will never forget what I said to you.
Go on. Please refresh my memory.
I said to you, Frank, so it is true. Every dog has its own day in the sun.
Yeah. It goes full circle actually, because in 2017, the same Punch announced falsely that I was dropped from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in 2017. That was like how many years later?
That'd be, let's do 2003 to 2017. That was what?
14 years.
Yeah, no, 3 plus. Yeah, 14 years.
14 years, yeah. So they were, and it was a false report.
But what happened there? Because there was a minute where you were, where it looked like you left. I mean, it's not, it looked like you left.
No, the thing is this. You know, our sponsor was fined by Nigeria one time.
MTN.
I don't want to mention the name, so I don't look as if. But yes, MTN they've been our support, they've been our backbone for many years. So that huge fine was imposed upon them because of some telecommunications shenanigans and stuff like that. I think they didn't adhere to something, just one simple rule, and Nigeria just used the opportunity to clamp down on MTN. I mean, Nigeria should have looked at it from this viewpoint. These people had sponsored a show for 10 years that was educating the whole of Nigeria. So that should have softened the landing in terms of punitive measures for whatever they did. But, you know, they imposed a great fine, hefty. So, and they just decided to, hey, you know what, we can't afford to sponsor the show anymore. So they pulled out. We were now looking for a new sponsor. I think we got a new sponsor. So I wasn't the owner of the show, as many people misconceived. So I started chatting with the producer for, hey, come on, I need a raise. I need to come as executive producer. But of course, somebody's thing that they've been owning for many years, they decided, guys said, we're still in discussion. Then the new show was launched with a new sponsor. And I think Punch asked the owners, hey, what about Frank? They said, oh, Frank is still in-house. But instead of them say, oh, Frank is still on board, he's just sick today, diplomatically. They said, Frank, I don't think Frank is going to present the show. And the eyes of Punch pricked, the ears of Punch pricked up. And they said, hey, that Frank is still going to be in-house. He's going to still be with us, but he's not going to do the show. We'll look for a younger presenter. And Punch went and sensationalized it. So one Saturday morning, I wake up and I see all over the internet and Twitter, people insulting me already. Hey, you are dropped. You will feel like this. That was when my whole rage against Twitter started. You understand? I said, you know what? I'm gonna hit back, and I'm gonna hit everybody back. I'm in my lane. I don't disturb people. But if you come for me based on especially false news, even though it's true, why would you come at someone at his lowest time? So Punch put it out. I put out my statement and I said, if they tell you that they dropped me, let them tell you, then I'll prove that they didn't drop me. So I resigned there. Basically, I just said, okay, because we were still undergoing negotiations. So when I saw that, I said, there's no coming back from this. Because even if I still stayed, they'll be like, he begged and everything. I said, no. And because I'm still with them, I wouldn't know how to express the truth. So I left and I said, anybody that tells you they dropped me, I'll prove it. And
wow. So was there a period, because it seems like, because you said the show launched without you. So was there a period where somebody else ever presented the show?
No. Unfortunately, there was nobody, because I think the producers ran into a disagreement with the new sponsor. Sponsors are very difficult in Nigeria. Sponsors, I'm saying this.
Tell me.
Sorry, I have a cold. Sponsors are very difficult. You see an educational show like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Sponsor it. This is no-brainer. Sponsor it. But they'll see something else. They'll just latch on it like this, bam, and start latching on it. And and
then you're getting that feeling that, why are you sponsoring this?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, everybody knows the difference is clear. Why aren't you sponsoring us?
No, I'm not saying that you shouldn't sponsor those kind of shows, but sponsor this educational one.
Yeah, why are you passing us over for that one?
That's what I'm saying. Like your podcast now. If a corporate entity is brainy, they're supposed to splash their name all over and they say, all right, Teju, King of Talk, let's put...
what I learned about sponsorship, and I learned this circa 2012-13.
Okay.
I came into some epiphany. Into an epiphany about sponsorship. It was that day that I realized that sponsors not only do whatever benefits them as an entity, that's not even the primary consideration. Sponsors, especially in certain parts of the world, only do what benefits the person in that office or several people linked to that office. It doesn't matter how good a show is, it doesn't matter how bad a show is. What am I getting personally? It could be kickback, it could be a promotion. If I cannot calculate how it directly benefits me and this office and a few of my guys, we're not sponsoring that. Have the best show in the world if you like.
That's the problem. In America, you have is it called the Nielsen ratings? When you just see the ratings, they put my stuff on the highest, like Super Bowl, 15-second commercial. Wow. Super Bowl.
What are you talking?
You are going to pay.
What are you talking?
Why? It's rated. Now, if you gave it to a country like Nigeria, I'd be like, okay. Of course, they'll sponsor workout, they'll start pricing it down, but one ludicrous program will come, they'll just, plunk money
in it and all of that.
That's the problem. So I feel these corporate entities, they really need to look at themselves and really need to help sponsor these people come at podcasts and stuff like that, so that
nobody cares about that. But look, this Who Wants to Be a Millionaire thing, right?
Yes.
So the plan was you resigned.
No, that wasn't the plan. I was negotiating to get a higher remuneration, but it didn't go the way. But the way it was handled, I didn't like it. That Punch came out and started saying, "Oh, So
did the producers of the program come out to now?
They didn't come. They didn't have time because I resigned.
Okay.
I resigned and I said, if they say they dropped me, I'm gonna prove it that they didn't drop me.
Okay, so after you resigned, did the program ever air with another presenter?
No.
So what happened?
I don't know what happened there, because that's where, I went into, call it a cryogenic cocoon of time in terms of Wants to Be a Millionaire. I didn't know what happened there and then. Okay. Till 5 years later.
Yeah.
Is it 5 years later? 2017? Yeah, 5 years later.
Because I can't think of the program ever having another host for a day at any point in time, even after.
No, you could. That's the misconception.
Yeah.
In America, that program is presented by many people. First, it was Regis Philbin. Regis Philbin was doing the main show, while the syndicated show was done by Meredith Vieira. Okay. So, after that went on, I think Regis Philbin retired from the show. Then other people came. Do you know that Cedric the Entertainer presented Wants to Be a Millionaire here?
Oh yeah, so I saw some clips.
Terry Crews presented Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Okay.
So many people like that. Even in the UK was Chris Tarrant. So Chris Tarrant retired. The show retired. Then they said, okay, they want to come to do a 20th anniversary special. They brought in Jeremy Clarkson. And Jeremy Clarkson killed it. So I'm of the opinion that although the show, I kind of made it mine, someone else that is hugely talented, mind you, can come and make the show their own. So
did anybody ever do that apart from you? I'm saying that I never was privy to see any other person host it apart from you. So even when you left, was there a period where
nobody hosted it? So the show went to new producers, and they did auditions. When they did the auditions and everything, so they called me. They didn't call me for an audition. They finished the auditions. I think they were still... Like I say, it's just a matter of choice. Like the first time when it happened, when they said, oh, broadcast heavyweights, Frank beats. I didn't beat nobody. It's just that the owner of the show wanted a certain character and saw that in me, luckily, and they gave me the show. Now, the second time around, I think it's based on this preconceived notion that nobody can do the show except Frank, which I highly kick against. But they called me and said, hey, do you want to do the show? I said, why are you calling me? Why don't you want to give? He said, we've done auditions already. I said, so why don't you? I didn't even hear of the auditions. I wouldn't have even gone to any audition. They called me and said, hey, do you want to do it? I said, yeah. The guy shook hands. And so we did Wants to Be a Millionaire last year. We did like 52 episodes. And went on. We were supposed to start this time, but we had to restructure the studio so that audience can fit in. We didn't have audience for the first one because of COVID restrictions. But yeah. That's what happened. Oh, so
the show is back now?
It was back. We did last year now. You didn't see it.
No, I've been here.
Yeah, you've been here. You don't have Wi-Fi here.
So sorry, with all due respect, there's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire America.
Oh, ouch, 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 ouch.
I'm just kidding. I'm just been out of touch.
Ouch, that one entered.
So now one for you. So the show is running now.
Yeah, it ran last year. Even competed, with Big Brother.
Yeah.
In terms of ratings, but Big Brother's a mammoth. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is there. And now this new generation, they have short attention spans. They like, content given to them in bits and pieces so that they can save their data. And also, they don't have time to stand and look and watch a whole TV show, rush back home like they used to do.
Yeah.
But we went on the DSTV platform and DSTV said, wow, you guys, your ratings are quite high, you know. So we are preparing for a second season for that. Okay,
so how long is the hiatus from when you took a break?
I think it's 2017, then we started 2022, so 5 years.
Okay, then after this, so this the last episode of this recent 52 episode run, when did that one air last?
It aired, this year. He aired, I think it stopped in February?
Okay.
So we're supposed to start shooting in March.
Yeah.
And start airing in April.
Yeah.
But man, we had to restructure and stuff like that. So it's
I know how that thing goes, because what almost everybody doesn't know is this: when Who Wants to Be a Millionaire started in 2004, there were, as you can imagine, teething pains. New production pains, trying to do it to exacting world standards, so that it could get the franchise.
Thank you.
So in the beginning, there'd be all these delays, production stops and gaps, and then somebody on that team of producers said, "Look, we need a comedian to entertain people." And then you, Frank Edoho, said to the producers, "Let's bring in Teju Babyface. He's my guy,
my man."
You know how I know you were the one who said it?
Why?
Because it wasn't the producers of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire who called me. You were the one who called me one morning. I said, "Look, boy, we need a comedian on the show."
Yes.
And then so I'd go to that place, Muri House. Every Saturday. And sometimes the pause in production sometimes will be hours.
I'm telling you.
And I'd stand and I'd entertain. I told all the jokes.
Then you started making jokes on the fly.
I did that for about a year.
Yes.
And
you know the funny thing?
Yeah.
You were paid higher than me.
Really?
When first started, I told you that thing. You must have forgotten. You were paid higher than me.
I never knew that because every time we stand backstage to come out, it was either you coming out, they were ready for production, or it was me coming out, it wasn't time yet. So you'll be standing there in the suit. I'll just be wearing jeans and stuff.
You wear jeans, and you had this Jack Daniels t-shirt that I used to love.
My man.
Like that, I remember. When you come in, I'll be looking at him like.
So you didn't look me they look inside your suit.
I'll be like, this t-shirt, this guy, and everything. Then when you come, you would entertain. Then sometimes we'll go both of us will go while we're entertaining. You're entertaining the crowd. Then we'll start yabbing each other. Then you will be like, I'll be like, this. And you look at me and say, Frank, if you see this shirt where you do, if you see the original, you go like him. I remember.
How do you remember all of this?
I remember. You know,
2004.
It used to be great. It used to be awesome.
Them were the days.
Those were the days.
And it used to kill me every Saturday when they'd ate. I'd be like, they could have at least given me 1 minute.
See,
they could have run 1 minute at the end of the credits.
I tried to do it, but the international producers,
they were watching.
They don't go out of line because they have a standard. They have a template. They bring international producers to watch you. So the first time we recorded Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, we did it just for 5 minutes because it was a new format. The people, like cameraman and the director, it was strange. So it got to a point when, the international producers saw we did it, we messed up, went back, did it, went back. And I was given a contract of like 3 months. No, I was given 1 year contract. But I was under, what do they call that thing? When they have to see if you can really do it.
A proviso or a proviso.
Yes.
So it's a proviso, I think.
So.
It's a performance clause.
Yes. So when I did it, the international producer said, you know what, based on all of your performances, I'm supposed to tell our producers back in the UK that you guys can't do this show. But there's one factor that makes me know that you can do the show. That man standing right there. Me.
The presenter.
Yeah. So when he said that man standing right there, I looked to look. Me. I was like, oh, okay.
You were the one who swung it. In the end, it came down, or you were one of the principal factors.
Yeah. The guy said he would have stopped the show. Because technically, in terms of production, we can't do it. But
for you, they wouldn't have given them.
Come out, I'll be like, hey, the guy's looking at me. Where's the script? I was doing it from the top of my head. I'm like, hi, welcome to Wants to Be a Millionaire. If you ask this question, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Come on, it's a silly question.
No teleprompter, nothing.
Nothing. You know why? Because radio gave me that experience. Radio, they used to teach us to use scripts. So I was script. Then I thought to myself, if I'm reading from the script, it doesn't sound organic. So you know what? Let me write templates of scripts, get them in my head. So anytime I can use them, I'll just pick from here. And I've been writing templates. Even in Houston, I've been writing them. When I hear one line, I'll construct it into any repertoire that I have. I have all my notes. If you see, I would have shown you.
Oh, it's on your phone.
Yes, now my notes. Let me just scroll to show you. I have the note is called speech bands. I think it's called speech bands. I will look at speech bands. Speech bands. See, this is it. All my templates. All.
Wow, that's
all.
a lot.
All. It goes on and on and on every time. New stuff. So I just think I'm like, okay, how am I gonna go on this one? And every time I came out, I'll give a different script from the top of my head. The guy's looking at me like, who's this guy? So that was the factor, and that gave me confidence to even do more.
Yeah. So if I wanted to quote you on this, I could be like, I swung it for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
No. Oh, that's what Punch would do.
But yeah, that's what I'm asking.
That's what
I only ever take direct quotes from my guests as a headline. I never go to sensationalize. I take direct quotes.
No,
I'm asking.
People don't understand that thing. And anyway, basically, it's only numbskulls that won't understand that.
Yeah.
But people that are learned and know and have that mindset will know that, oh, this was twisted out, paraphrased out of context.
Sadly, now you bring me that. Look, that's a good lead-in. That's a good segue into the next thing that I'm about to ask you here.
Hit me.
I do this with Joseph Benjamin.
Joseph Benjamin.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
That guy is a cornucopia of talent.
Look, it was one of the things I asked him. That look, how do you deal with the cross that is the curse, that is the burden of being a multi-talented person, a multi-potentialite. When you're a person who can do several things very well, you would have thought that it would be a blessing, but it's a cross you have to carry because your lot is confusion.
Look,
because every time you do this, then somebody comes along and tells you, well, I know you do this very well, but I've also seen you do that. I think I don't think that is actually what you're born to do. And then you leave this and you start doing that. And while you're doing that, of course, you're going to hit obstacles. And then even you start to tell yourself that, I'm only hitting these obstacles because this is not what I should have been doing. I should have not left that. And then while you're trying to make the decision, somebody else comes along and says, it's even neither of those two things. I've seen you do this other thing. Teju Baby Face, we saw you in Diamond Ring.
Yeah.
You're a fantastic actor. Why are you doing comedy?
Why are you doing comedy?
And then I came to do Teju Baby Face show. Oh, we love the show, but you're a great comedian.
Why are you doing that?
Then somebody sees me and says, man, you're supposed to be a pastor. I heard you preach in a church the way you do that. I mean, so that's your burden.
That's the burden. But I think the trick is not to listen to an external voice. Listen to the voice inside, and it will guide you to navigate you properly. I mean, you can multitask and do a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I'm speaking to Joseph Benjamin, right? And the story he tells me is that some circa 7 years ago, he left Nigeria to come to the United States on the promises of an agent, a business partner, that they had set up, a soft landing for him to go into the movies in America. He was coming into Atlanta, which is where Tyler Perry was based. ATL, the black hub for the creativity in America. They are set up. The person, just promised all of these things. So Joseph, gingered, excited to go because he had also seen that there was a next for him. He left Nigeria, right? He got here, and in just a matter of days, the person pulled out, disappointed him. And so he's stranded. He's
marooned.
God bless you. He's marooned on the island. He's marooned in this United States. And so to survive, because he can't go back. He essentially burned his boats. He burned the boats, burned the bridges in Nigeria, sold all his stuff, gave stuff out and all of that. So he couldn't go back. So to survive in this United States, he had to start driving Uber and Lyft and delivering packages for Amazon. And he even tried to get a job in the cold room of a grocery store.
Wow.
This wow that you said, this wow was exactly what I said. I'm like, what? You did all of that? I mean, that's surprising, right? It's like you, Frank, telling me that somebody said, come and go into TV in America, and then you leave Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and you get here and they pull out, and then you are driving Uber and Lyft. I mean, I'd be like, Frank, you did that.
Well,
what, Abi?
At this age, I don't think I would have abandoned what I was doing.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, he did, right? So I'm surprised. So I say, what and all of that? You did that. How? When? How? And, there's nothing wrong with those jobs. There's dignity,
of course,
in all labor,
of course.
But relative to where he was coming from and where he thought he was going, that was surprising, right?
Yes.
So we posted this interview, and as you can imagine, there come these thousands of comments from intelligent, brilliant, beautiful minds who are inspired, who get it, who say, man, you went through all of that. God bless you. We didn't know. Man, thank you for inspiring me. Thank you. Great content and all of that. But as you might also imagine, with the harvest comes the weed.
Of course.
The weeds and the tares.
Yeah, the chaff from the grain.
The chaff, exactly. So in coming all these negative comments from people who lack a grasp of context, contextualization, background, backdrop, backstory, and flow of conversation. You know, all these negative comments. I mean, a few of them.
Yes.
And see, I have no problem with you if you comment even when you lack a grasp of context, right? Just do it politely.
Do it politely.
Yeah, because look, all of us at some point have spoken to matters we didn't understand. I mean, hopefully when we're younger, because as you grow older, you're supposed to be more circumspect.
Exactly.
You learn to keep your own counsel.
By all means.
Even when you think somebody is wrong.
Exactly.
One of the hallmarks of maturity is you keep your counsel. You just don't talk. But look, to each his own. We all have different levels of uptake.
Yes.
So even if you don't get the context, but you comment politely, I leave you. You see a few of those on my page. What I can't stand, what gets me hot and bothered, hot under the collar, is when somebody who lacks a grasp of context states their ignorance confidently and does so abrasively and rudely, lacking any sort of decorum, etiquette, decency, respect, or manners. So I see some of these comments and I'm mad. Now I want to start replying, not so much because it has gotten under my skin, but because I can see the obvious holes in this dense asinine logic.
Yes.
Then somebody close to me says, no, don't do that. That's not your thing. I mean, obviously
it will affect your brand.
Yeah, obviously you can, but that's not your thing. Then they said, this is the thing. They said, this way I've been going with all this long setup. You know what they said?
Yeah. What did they say?
They said, if you wear Daddy Freeze or
Frank Edoho,
you can do that.
Or
those guys,
Jim Ike. They always put Jim Ike or Reno or Mockery.
Those guys are known for doing that. They've built some sort of reputation around doing that. I'm like, okay, that's true. But then my next question to myself is, but since when? The Frank whom I used to roll around with back in those early days, 2000, was the perfect gentleman. I mean, Frank always had a quick wit, but that was when we were walking. Outside of that, Frank was cool.
Yes.
I mean, when did this Frank? I mean, so it's either one of two things for me. It's either I didn't really know Frank, or something changed along the way. And if something changed, then what precipitated that change?
That's a good question.
When did you become Mr. Basbos? You this cool guy.
No. Okay. Listen, like I told you before, it started when they told me, they said I was dropped from Wants to Be a Millionaire, and people started insulting me. People just came at me, you know. So I never looked at it from the viewpoint of I can't be insulted. But when you insult me for something that didn't happen, or you're just playing childish, or you just want to be corrosive, then I say that these people deserve to be answered. Why? Because, one, everybody doesn't answer them. And if you give a fool leverage, the fool will grow to become the president of this country one day. You know why? Because everybody's saying, no, don't involve. You know, someone actually sent me a message and said, this, you're replying, will disrupt your brand. I said, what brand? I said, what brand? If I have a brand, I didn't put it out there knowingly. I'm just a guy who loves broadcasting. I do wants to be a millionaire. And before I got that job to do it, I didn't promise you that I'll be on my best behavior. You see, the problem with these people is that when they see anybody on TV, and they see anybody on YouTube, they see anybody doing skits, they see you as an actor or, a proficient entertainer from any facet at all, they think you must be on. You must, because you are there, people are looking up to you. So I think like how many years ago, New Year's Day, I said, please, let me tell you something. If I am your role model in terms of the profession, I'm going to give you all the pearls of knowledge that I have. But if I am your role model because of behavior, you are a big fool.
You actually put that out.
See, they know me. He was fool. Was that necessary? I said, okay, sorry. Order. You are a big order. You know why? See, just because I'm in entertainment doesn't mean I can't be a normal chit-chat person with you. I can separate myself on Twitter. And like you said, I don't do this in real life. You know why? Because in real life, you idiots will not come to me and be talking like that. You know, because first of all, I was born in Sabungeri, Kano, where that's like a ghetto. Secondly, when I went to Calabar, I used to play football with fishermen, area boys. Thirdly, in Lagos, I stayed in Bishop Crowther. I stayed in Adisa Bashwa. I stayed in Shaki Crescent, near Cassette Bus Stop, all in Aguda. You cannot walk up to me as a Surulere boy and start chatting shit. Sorry.
No, go for it. It's a podcast, bro.
Start chatting.
Go for it.
You can't do that. So they don't do that in real life. They do it there. So I don't bring my real behavior. My real behavior, I'm a gentleman. I don't cause trouble. When I see people, anybody that wants to take pictures with me, even though there are 1,000 people, I will wait patiently and take pictures with them. Why? Because they need this. I'm even surprised that why would someone want a picture with me? I'm still in that frame of mind. Like, why? But they seem to like it. So if that's what they want, I'll be patient about it. I won't be an asshole about it. But you coming to tell me, I'm talking about football, I'm talking about Chelsea Football Club. Like, okay, let me give you a prime example. So this guy, Frank Lampard, was about to be hired as Chelsea manager the first time. So I said to my Chelsea fans, you know, my Chelsea fans, they regard me as president of Chelsea in Nigeria. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the Bass Boost. But anyhow, I said, now Chelsea fans, if Frank Lampard is about to be employed as manager of Chelsea, if he will lose some matches, but if he does and you start insulting a club legend, Thunder will fire you. This was after I stopped doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That's what I put. Then one guy said, yeah, like they fired you from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right? Ooh. So you know what I did? I saw the texts, the tweet, I kept it. I braced myself for the impact. I chilled. You see, the secret to Anne's reply, don't reply immediately. You'll talk nonsense. I leave it to stew. I have like 5 virtual replies. So I said, I have 5 replies for the guy. I said, how can I combine all these replies together? Because separately, separately.
My problem is not what to say.
Separately, they are grenades.
It's how can I? That's not.
I said separately, they are grenades. Let me combine it to give a nuclear reaction. So I go. I said, oh, like you were fired and wants to be a millionaire. People were laughing already. When I was ready for the guy, I just said, me fired from wants to be a millionaire. That's false. I said, I've never been fired in my life from any person that employed me. I said, conversely, the people that employed me used to regret me leaving their companies because of how good I was. I said they used to regret me leaving their companies, just like the night your father regretted firing your mom and having you. I put it there.
I saw that one.
I looked at it. I said, Kai, backlash will happen, but is the Bass Boost going to be lower than the backlash? Nah. Boom. I put it out. Let me tell you what happened. I put it out in the morning. It was a Sunday morning. Put it out Sunday morning. So a couple of hours I went to the Palms. I went to the food court. Like 6 guys were there. They stood up and started clapping for me. So I was like, oh, who wants to be a millionaire fan? I said, oh, who wants to be a millionaire fan? He said, which wants to be a millionaire? He said, did you see what you did this morning? You put that guy in his position. You see, all these people are, So when I did that, I felt retribution had been served. But at the same time, I always do this. No, I can't just go and start insulting people. Okay, I take that back. unless it's Daniel Rega. Daniel Rega tried me. He blocked me. I told people to be posting my. I hounded him. He doesn't want to unblock me. I told him, I said, just unblock me so that you can see.
Daniel Rega?
You don't know Daniel Rega?
No.
Well, Daniel Rega looks like an anthropod. He looks like a crustacean, and he makes the most noise on Twitter. And he tried me. I said, Jesus. I said, you leech. You tried me. I said, I'll show you. I said, I have bigger animals, bigger species I have scattered. No, why I'm excited about this is that this is only on Twitter, on social media. But in real life, because they can't do that in real life, I'm my normal. I'm charming. I'm ebullient. I am didactic. I am, calm, down to earth, down to heel, very charming. But when you try me on social media, and because of that, entertainers are now answering back. Because you can't keep quiet and say brand. Okay, let me give you an example. Big Brother. Big Brother is phenomenal. I watch it, I'm addicted to it. But I notice the people that are well behaved, it's the controversial people that brands even put their money on. So why should I be quiet on Twitter because of brand? I give you back, but I don't start the fight.
The instigator.
No. I don't instigate. Like now, people are asking me, where have you been? Where have you been? I said, well, he said, you've not been in the kitchen cooking. They call it cooking. I said, well, if no need to start a fire if there's no smoke. So I said, hey, no.
I'm glad you said that thing with fire and smoke. Put it in your back pocket. I'll get to that in about 2 questions.
Go ahead.
Okay, so look, this makes my next question almost unnecessary because you've answered most of it here. So I see, So I see the thinking, I see the thought process. But I'm still thinking, look, there's this whole, you've heard the story of the axiom, the analogy of the dog and the moon.
The dog and the moon, okay.
Yeah, so this is essentially, the moon is the brightest body in the sky when it shines at night.
When it shines at night, okay.
The moon is the biggest thing in the sky. And so when the moon shines and millions all over the world are seeing the moon, there's this dog barking in his neighborhood whom nobody can see. Maybe just a couple of people say, throwing slippers at dog. Keep quiet, get. But the moon is howling at the dog. The dog
is howling. Yes, at
the moon. Now, so the moon ignores the dog, right? It's one dog. Besides, there are millions of dogs howling in their small neighborhoods around the world. Nobody's paying them attention. But they say that the thing now becomes an issue if the moon decides to address the dog or barks back at the dog.
Yes.
All of a sudden, everybody is now wondering, what is so special about this dog that the whole moon has decided to give it attention?
Yes.
So my way of thinking is, look, I can understand how somebody can say something online that annoys you. I mean, I just confessed how annoyed I was when all this cretinous and asinine
on Joseph Benjamin,
comes rudely, as if we're even. Don't even let me get started on all that. You come onto my page. My page.
That's the problem.
As in my page. It's not as if it's an independent page. My page.
Yes.
So I can understand how that is, and you display this level of ignorance that if you were any more ignorant, you would just be dead. I mean, just any more, you would literally just die.
Yes.
So I want to reply, right? But so here's what I'm thinking. I can understand the annoyance, but I'm saying you're Frank Edoho. Why not, as you did with that guy? Why not fire one very caustic one? Bam, and say something like, if you reply after this, I block you or something. Why do the back and why do the brawling to?
No, I don't waste time with someone I have decimated.
Oh, so it's once you do the one.
Once I do that one guy, I leave him. Another person comes. It's about sending a message. The moon is sending a message through that dog, because it's the one that howls loudest, that encourages other howlers to form a choir and a congregation of howlers. And it becomes loud. The moon cannot hear anything. The din is, the decibel level is too much. It will affect your mental health, whether you like, even though you are the best person, you have an exterior, a cool exterior, inside your heart will be rumbling because it's coming from anywhere. So how do you attack? A mob attacks you. Are you going to start punching everybody? No. Hold the biggest one. Bloody his nose well. Keep it on the floor and say, who's next? The crowd, some of them will stop because they don't want that smoke.
Which is why I always think those, sorry to cut you, which is why I always think those action movies are staged because they are movies. Because I'm like, if there are 7 of you and your first guy just got his bones broken, why are the 6 of you?
Because they're obliged to.
They are obliged because it's a movie.
They are more afraid of the master than this. Okay. So it's good to get their nose bloodied here than to get shot by their master. Because the master says, so what were you doing?
God, they just break. I mean, Steven Seagal, he just broke your guys.
Yeah,
bone 7 ways to Sunday, and you still jump into the fight.
So now the thing is, get one. When you get one, another one the next loudest one comes, you get that one and you wait. The third one will be like, do I really want this? Do I really want this? And before you know it, I've been on Twitter, it's been silent and I have not said anything. Maybe because football season is out, but football season is back and I know they are going to come at me again, and I'm ready. And this time, I'm not taking any prisoners. I'm going to decimate a whole fan base. Listen, there was one time you support Manchester United.
No,
Arsenal.
You forget this one, Frank, and I'm glad you've forgotten. This is how far I've distanced myself from the pain. The fact that you can forget means that I've done a good job. Arsenal. We used to both be rabid Chelsea supporters with Basoj. It was 3 of us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the pain was too much.
Chelsea, listen to me.
Look, no, you can't convert me.
I'm not trying to.
Do you know that the night that we lost the Champions League in
penalties,
John
Terry's slip.
That was the worst. The 3 nights following that, I literally couldn't sleep. Look, I'm like, how is this healthy? How is this life?
You know you have to pick a struggle in life, otherwise the struggle will pick you.
That's why I'm not picking that one.
You see, Chelsea is is the place I go to that will have a simulation of what life is all about. You win some, you lose some. Sometimes you win trophies. But how do you react when you don't? How do you react when you're down in the lurch? What do? You know, you have to know how to react. So I use Chelsea as an extension, as a virtual extension of life to teach me when real life happens to me. I pick myself up and everything. That's what I do. That's how I do it. And there was one day, Manchester United fans, they came at me for 3 days. I tackled them for 3 days.
Man, you just went swinging.
No. I just said, oh, no. And I have time. I said, I have time now. I think it was the coronavirus time. I said, I have time now. You picked the wrong time. I have time. So this guy now said, oh, the way Chelsea is falling, they blah, blah, blah. Okay, you know, Frank, they were teasing me. I kept quiet. Then the other one said, you know what? I'm going to send a Manchester United, 2 Manchester United jerseys for you and your madam to convert to Chelsea. I'll send Manchester United jerseys. Can you imagine? I told the person, I said, really, no need to send Manchester United jerseys to my madam because we have enough kitchen rags. The whole fan base.
Frank, you enjoyed this thing too much. Look,
do you see the joy in my face?
You enjoy. In fact, the day I knew you enjoyed it was when you were saying somewhere. I watched an interview where you were talking about how somebody saw you outside during, one of the times when Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was airing, and they said to you rudely, Frank Edoho, and are you just be this? You are small like this. You look big on TV.
Yeah.
To which you said, no, I'm not small. It's your television.
That's small.
It's your television.
That's my favorite response. Yeah. I said, yeah. It's your
you
TV.
Enjoy this thing.
No. I enjoy the fact it's called repartee. The fact that you could reply with, you see, the job we do. Like now, if you have a podcast, you have the uncanny ability to reply. It looks like you are ready.
All the years of standing on stage as a comedian for the hecklers and all of that.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's not that we can't do this thing now. You just initially hesitate to jump.
That's why I'm angry with comedians.
Yeah.
You are not supposed to allow people just walk all over you on social media and you are now mute based on branding.
Yeah.
No, you give it to them back. Have you seen James Blunt? James Blunt is the most oppressed guy on Twitter. But conversely, James Blunt, the singer who sang You're Beautiful, that guy, he is still the best clapback merchant ever.
In the business.
The guy will clap you back. Clap you back. You at the end, you find yourself way back. So, that's it. So, in the whole, it's just vibe. It's just fun. It's just vibes. But now, the annoying thing is that when people see me, they come and hug me and say, hey, man, I like what you do. I say, yeah, we started Who Wants to Be a Millionaire again. You look at me, which millionaire? I'm talking about Bazbos. I like what you're doing to those people on Twitter. And I'm saying, okay, thank you, I'm going. I say, so this guy likes me more for Bazbos than
okay, so my takeaway from all of this is that these people who come for you in whatever guise or form or whatever they're doing, they are bullies.
They are.
Just like you shouldn't take whatever a bully does in real life.
Thank you very much.
Just like you should always stand up to a bully in real life, because you should never ever let a bully get away with it.
Thank you, because if the bully gets away with it, it feels more powerful, then goes to the next. Feels more powerful and everything. But when you deflate a bully, some of them, I follow them. At the end, after giving them that acidic retort, I follow them.
Okay.
I follow a lot of people just because, hey, they're, whether you like it or not, they are Nigerians, they are our people. So I just follow them, and they are very happy when you follow them.
But I've seen that happen, actually, this thing you're saying. Somebody actually comes aggressively sometimes. And a few times I do that, and all of a sudden they go back. They say, no, I didn't mean
that
to.
That is it. Sometimes they go like, hey, you know, you now know that, okay, maybe they were trying to seek attention, or they were, or maybe they're going through something and everything. But the fact is, there is no excuse for bullying, and I hope that my retorts symbolize the fact that you shouldn't,
tolerate it.
In
any guise or form.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now you spoke about smoke and fire. Remember I said you should put it in the back pocket. Great. So they say there's no smoke without fire, by which they mean to say that if there's any rumor about you, anything untoward said about you, wherever, rumors are swirling, even if you claim that it's untrue, there must be some element of truth to it somewhere.
Exactly.
Now, practically speaking, that is not true. Now, technically speaking, yes, I mean, every smoke must have a source of ignition, some conflagration, some flame somewhere. But it is practically not true, because you might not have been the one who started the fire.
Thank you very much.
It might have been some unscrupulous arsonist who started the fire.
Wow. I like your play on words.
Thank you. Trying to frame you.
Yeah.
So now all the smoke is coming on you, but you didn't start the fire.
Yes.
Right? So it's not always practically true, even though technically it is. Now, I ask this because talking along the lines of what happens online, I think someday you tweeted something, and somebody came up with a comment accusing you of being a blackguard, a wife beater or something. There was a
wife beater.
Yeah, a wife beater and a batterer and all of that. And of course, you categorically and unabashedly, I mean, you came for that person.
I did.
You debunked, you did all of that, as you should. Now, but I'm thinking, what would make this person come up with that type of accusation, and why would they even think it will stick in the first place? I mean, that's like somebody seeing me and saying you embezzled all of PDP's money when you were PDP chairman. I was never PDP chairman.
Exactly.
Why would this person, of all the things they could have said, why is it that one that they said, and why would they think? What did they hear?
Okay, it's quite simple. This question, Marian Arthur asked me this question, and I'm the common denominator is you're close to me. Marian Arthur is very close to me. She's married to Charles Anazodo. Charles Anazodo and I share the same birthday, alongside Yinka Craig of blessed memory. Charles Anazodo used to be in DBN TV together. I was in the sports section. I was in entertainment. That's where he met Marian. And they left DBN TV, proposed, they got married. I was involved. I emceed some of it and stuff like that. So we're very close. So she had a show called, is it Movies, Music and More? And I was on that show. And she asked me the same question. I said, Marian, you answer. Answer the question. Am I a wife beater? You know me very well in terms of women. Am I somebody who is standoffish, who is to women, or who feel that women, because anybody that's a wife beater, first of all, looks at women as beneath them. so beneath them that they can trample upon them. I mean, look at my wife. My wife runs an interior design business. I'm a director of that business. And when she started the business, she was using a phone to snap pictures. And I would look at interior designers in the world, the Kelly Hoppins, the Catherine Pooleys of the world, and I would look at their pictures. Very professional. How did they do that? So, what did I do? I learned photography because of my wife. So I learned photography. I learned framing, composition. I learned and I used Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom. After using Adobe Lightroom, I'll just take a picture, bam, and I'll now, bring down the highlights, raise the shadows, introduce clarity and sharpness and stuff like that. But it still wasn't like that. So you know what I did? I bought courses just for my wife to support her business. No wife beater supports their wife that way. Let me give you another example. I went into Photoshop because of that. I saw what leading interior design photographers. I'll give you some pictures to display of what I do, what I did for my wife. So I did Photoshop, Lightroom, learned photography. I went ahead. That's when I was learning cinematography. So all my equipment, all the thing, I only did cinematography for my wife, for her business. I support my wife. I stand by her business. I will forget about my own business. And if she needs me, I am there in a pinch. And she knows this. So she regards me as an asset. And there was one time that an interior designer called her and said, Kai, could your husband come and take photos for me? And my wife said, hey, you could do this to earn money. I said, earn what money? I learned photography because of you. I ain't doing it for your competition. Let them look for their photographers. And my wife cherishes that about me. Now tell me, does that really? My wife goes for all interior design shows. Last year she went to Spain for 2 weeks by herself. Then she said she's going to Ibiza. From there, from Valencia. So she goes and she's videoing me. I say, oh, have fun and everything. Can a wife beater let his wife fly and do anything? Then what's happening? She will now come back and now say, this. Even if the best punishment I can give a woman is malice. I can stay in the same house with you, I'll not talk to you. If you cross the line, my wife knows now, I am the king of malice. I'll not talk to you. I will be whistling with my children. Oh, I love you. I'll be doing all those things. I say, okay, daddy's going out. What do you want me to buy for you? I'll go out, come back late. That is the beating that suffices physical ones. Why are you going and beat a woman? Then what? I don't do that. So anybody that says from any corner, crack or crevice that brings out the proposition that I beat women, the person is a big fool because I support women. Let me give you an example. I was doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the first run. So I went to City Mall. So I'm standing there with some guys. Suddenly I see a girl. She's crying. I'm with my friends. I'm like, I do a double take. She's crying. So she's crying. And she looks at me. She recognizes me. I'm like, what's wrong? That girl, I don't know if I still have her number. She runs to me and gives me a hug. I hug, and she cries on my shoulder. And my friends are watching. I told them, hey, let her cry. Then I said, hey, sweetheart, what's wrong with you? What happened? Show me the guy. Just show me. He said, how did you know it was a guy? I said, so what did he do? He didn't touch you. No, okay. What's wrong? He said he's going to break up with me because he feels that this is always suspecting me. I love him. Now he has broken up the relationship. I said, he's broken up the relationship with you? Well, that's why you're crying. Put him on the phone. I kid you not. So I take the hi. I say, hi, my name is Frank Edoho, the guy who wants to be a millionaire. Your girlfriend is here crying. Where are you? Get your ass here and come and give her a hug. Are you stupid? Look at this beautiful girl. She's crying because of you in City Mall publicly. You are there feeling like it. The guy say, was stuttering. Okay, sir. I say, come and meet me. Come and meet her. What are you talking about? I know she's beautiful and you have to be jealous and this, but don't take it over. But you want to break up. The next fine girl you're going to go out, you're going to break up. You're going to be doing break up. And the guy said, okay, give her the phone. And the girl talked to listen. So when they finished and hung up, I said, are you better now? Yeah, better. All right. I hugged her, left. I defend women. It's just a pity that this thing about wife beating and everything will come up. And why would I beat a woman?
Where did that come from? What was the flint of a spark that even gave it any sort of life?
This is my second marriage. So in the first one, there were some. You see, when you are married, don't involve friends, acquaintances. Don't. Because look, let me tell you something. In marriage, there are quarrels. There are even some quarrels that are overboard. You'll be shouting and everything. If they film you quarreling with your wife, people will say you're a wife beater. Even though you didn't touch her, because there are some things that you are just exasperated about. And that's marriage. You will quarrel. You will have misunderstanding. You see, most people mistake the selection of a partner to be all the good things. You have to look at the bad things and accept them for better, for worse. So if both of you are exhibiting those bad traits, when people look at it, they'll say that's how they are and this is what happens. This is it. So there are many insinuations that come. That time when I walked away from my first marriage, I was chastised by everybody, colleagues, friends. A woman walked up to me at, Mega Plaza or was it the Palms? And she damn near spat at me, say, you are a shame. Because I'm serious. Because I'm no longer with my wife. You are a shame. This, blah, blah, blah. People are looking up to you and as if I'm a pastor. Anyway. But the long and short of it was that most of my colleagues that came up to me to tell me why you're leaving your wife, this. And many years after, they came to ask me, how did you do your divorce? Most of them are divorced. Most of them are probably in second marriages now. So marriage is not, if I knew this before, marriage is not for everybody. Marriage is not for everybody. That's one thing. I'm talking about both gentlemen and ladies. Marriage is not, especially the gentleman, because you must know how to overlook the worst thing. Think of it now. What's the worst thing that your wife can ever do to you that is a deal breaker? Do you know you're supposed to forgive her? When I say worst things, I'm talking about the worst thing that you'll be like, hey, if people will hear you, I hear that she did it to you and you stayed, and they'll be laughing at you, you are a fool for staying. Do you know you're supposed to forgive her? So, but some people can't. If you can't, don't marry. Don't. Because you don't have the assurance that your wife won't do that. And you too, vice versa. There are things you will do. The woman will say, although women are more forgiving, are more tolerant. That's why people say women hold. But nowadays, this generation is saying, it's 50-50. Is this? Look, let me tell you, a marriage is the woman that holds. My mother, mothers hold the home. The man pays for the house. I'm telling you.
Look, I tell you what I say was. I'm so excited. I tell you what Ifiri Ozako, the late lawyer. I tell you what Ifiri said to me before I got married. Ifiri said, all this thing that you're doing, because there was somebody I was going to marry and I wasn't sure, then I was going back and forth. Ifiri said to me one day, I'll never forget where he said it. We're riding our power bikes to the beach. Ifiri said, I've just been looking at you for months, you and this your girl. He said, where we come from as Africans, it is the woman who decides whether or not she wants to marry you. He said, you are an African boy now. He said, if this girl that you're worried about decides she wants to marry you, she knows what to do now. Has she gone to meet your parents? Has she gone to cook in the house?
So you see the traits.
Has she coming to your house to change the curtain? He said you have already shown her that you like her. She's your girlfriend now. And you're here worried about marriage. You're worried, which means that she's already in your mind. It's left to her to close the deal.
Not you.
Not you. He said, we're African men. He says the woman that not only closes the deal, but she holds. He said, any woman that wants to marry you, he said, all you have to do is to show your interest and show your love and allow her into your life.
Thank you. Thank you.
The moment you have allowed her into your life, if she wants to marry you,
she will.
She'll go marry you.
She will.
That's what he said.
She will. Because you've put her in that realm.
Yeah.
All she has to do is follow through. And that's it. So that's why my wife now, I mean, she's like the nucleus of my whole family. She's the nucleus. So she joins my children from my previous marriage.
Yeah.
She's closer to my first son than me. They strategize together.
Wow.
So it just shows you, it goes to show you that, women have, I don't know about this generation, and I pray for them because, my daughters are also in that generation, and I pray. I'm just praying because whether feminists like it or not, you cannot behave like a man.
In fact, let's spend one more minute on this, the power of women thing, because that's what we're saying, the power of women.
Power of women. Power of women who have the mindset.
Yeah.
If a woman wants to control, you see, they misconstrue this. And let me tell all women this. If you like, take it. If you like, hey, I'm not forcing it down your throat. But I say, if you want to control a man and have him behaving like a mumu, it's very simple. Submit. Give him the authority. I'm not saying the man, but because of course you know that you have a man, not that he's telling you, come, kneel down, this. No. You know the man you have married. But if you submit and respect him, hey, my husband. Men, there's something that turns men, like, my husband, where are you going? All these girls will be looking at you. That's my wife for you. My wife can't over-pamper me. Where did you say you were going? I've told her like 5 times where I'm going. Then you dress. Where did you say you were going, my husband? Tom Ford. All those girls. Tell those girls that I've gone, so I protect my own. You can go, but don't let me. And they do that. Then you now come back and say, hey, you know what? I want us to do it this way. And she says, no, I prefer this way. I said, I want us to do it this way. She said, my king, you have spoken. So shall it be written, so shall it be done. And she goes and does it. You, the man, you'll be looking at her like, this woman just grew like that. Then you call her back later after she has fed you, she's giving you, you're saying, that thing you are saying. So do you really think we should do it the other way? It's easy to control men. Men are the easiest. You can control men better than your children. But this generation, they don't know it.
I had a mentor once who had a public breakup in his marriage. And of course, as you can imagine, they took it to the press and all of that.
Yes.
He told me one day, he said, look, your wife is so powerful. He said, let me tell you something you will find in marriage, which is why you need to take your time before you get married. He said the peace of your house. In fact, he said the mood of your house. See, I'm talking of the physical mood of your house is dependent on the mood of your wife. He said, if you are annoyed and you have a dark mood, he said nobody in the house cares about it.
Exactly.
He said the house will be bubbling as long as your wife is happy and her mood is bright.
That's it.
Let the reverse be the case. You be bright and let your wife's mood be dark. The whole house
is
dark.
There's a dark cloud dangling over your house like the sword of Damocles. It's true. And that's just it. That's just it. The women, they don't even realize their power.
Yeah.
They don't realize their power now. They don't realize that they have the ability to nurture. Yeah. They have the ability to bring together. They have the ability to make anybody in that house do what they don't even want to do.
Yeah, the Yorubas say, "Obìnrin tó bá ní sùúrù, á pẹ́ nílé ọkọ, á tún jèrè ọkọ." Translation: a patient woman, she will forevermore remain in her husband's house, and she will, the word is not benefit, she will be the sole beneficiary. She and her children will be the sole beneficiary of every good thing that comes not only from that man, but from that home and that marriage. A patient woman.
Absolutely. Then another thing is a prayerful woman. the day I decided to marry my wife, we were boyfriend and girlfriend, after I'd come, from a divorce and everything, then, so she came to my house and she slept over. She had been coming, slept over. So I woke up at night, I didn't see her. I said, okay, so I wanted to go to the bathroom. I heard in my study noise. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I heard whispering and everything. I said, hey, which kind of thing be this now? I opened. You know what I saw? Kneeling down. She was invoking God with tears in her eyes to bless me. It was my name. I stood there for over 30 minutes and listened to this woman pray. I silently went in. So the next morning, I didn't say anything to her. I was just talking and everything, And, I told her, she said, oh, she's going on. I said, man, I would like to meet your mother and everything. She said, really? I said, oh, yeah, just, And that's how I inched my way in. And because I was a divorced man with some children and everything, the father didn't approve of me because he said, hey, you're going to be in trouble if this is a children, ex-wife matter and everything. And the guy is in Houston. So the mother was on my side. She wanted to marry me. And the man came to Nigeria and I spoke with him. The man said, I've listened, told his wife, that man is not going to marry my daughter. And a few months later, my wife got pregnant. I told my mother-in-law, I'm going to Houston to talk to your husband. She said, no, he won't. I said, please, give me his number. I called him. Hey, Dad, how are you? He said, who's it? I said, Frank, remember me? Yeah, I spoke to you. Yeah. I said, I'm coming to Houston to see you. I need to talk to you. Come and pick me at the airport. The man said, what? I said, come and pick me at the airport. He said, yeah, sure. He came to the airport, picked me, shook him. How you doing? How many days are you staying? I said, I came for you, just 2 days. I'm going to New York. So I went. He has this work that he does. He usually does it with his assistants. So he said he dropped me at the house and said he's going to work. I said, going to work? I'm coming with you. He said, no, that his assistant, although they are not here, I said, I'll assist you. And I went, assisted him, blah, 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 blah. Didn't say a word. He said, okay, let's go eat at an African restaurant. Went, African restaurant. He said, so by that time, he said, so what do you have to talk about? I said, with or without you, I'll marry your daughter. I'm in love with her. With or without you, I prefer with. Please, give me the chance to show my heart. And last month, my father-in-law, it's been 13 years now. And he said my marriage to his daughter was one of his proudest moments. So I showed him. So tell me, how can I be a wife, Peter?
So, as you were talking about this father-in-law thing, I said, great. So that thing I saw with you and Mr. Macaroni is true. That thing, wow. That is art. That is art imitating life.
You know how to segue. The segue is
that
bad.
That is art imitating life.
Yeah, no. Macaroni was
thanks
that
a lot
was
for
great.
doing this, bro. Look, there's a lot. Look, as at this time, let me look at this thing. As at this time, I think you've been my second longest.
Oh, who was the longest?
It was a Lamborghini from Ling & Lamb.
Oh, are you serious?
Lamborghini. I think it's clipping you now by about 2 minutes or so.
Oh, Lamborghini, I'll get you next time.
Okay. I want to
break it.
Okay,
now.
no, so let's break, because I still have questions. I was about to tell you that.
Okay, go ahead.
I still have more questions.
Hit me.
Let me give you one more final question.
One more.
Do you ever worry that you're a victim of your own success? That Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was so good. You were so good doing it. It was so successful that people will not just buy you in any other thing or allow you do any other thing. I ask this because I know. For years, I tried to get away from the Teju Babyface show as they knew it. This podcast that we're doing, I tried to do for the first time in 2016. I interviewed MI one-on-one.
MI, Mr. Incredible.
Ramsey Noah.
Whoa.
Larry Zamoje. Tade Ogidon, and
on.
several. I did one-on-one interviews. It was a much more beautiful set in Lagos. I took it to TV stations. They all turned me down to the last person. If it's not Teju Babyface show, we don't want. And so I was forced to go back to doing the Teju Babyface show, which I enjoy, by the way. But I'd seen this coming, and it took me pulling away for a couple of years to make this happen. I was a victim of my own success. It was that or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you sometimes feel like, look, you are a victim, or you've been a victim of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and that box, people just want to see you in that box? And if you ever saw that, did you break out? And if you've broken out, how?
Okay, that's a very good question. You see, the thing about doing work so well is that sometimes you'll be lucky that something comes along that just fits you, fits like a hand in glove. And that was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for me. But the thing is, TV presenting is not my favorite. That's the thing. I prefer radio. There was one post I did, I was telling people, hey, do you know it's so wonderful? On Instagram, I say it's wonderful, that radio presenters have this uncanny ability of when music starts, they start talking. I
saw that. When you now did the thing and you now just started talking.
I stopped talking and the person started singing.
I had goosebumps.
Yeah. That is what Dan Foster used to do that thing. But Cool FM was more equipped than my radio station. Cool FM would tell you when the person's about to talk. And there'll be a red this thing. It's about to talk in 5 seconds, so you know how to round up. Me, I'll listen to the beginning. And I'll say, this is where the person's. Then I go back again and play, and I talk, squeeze it in. I did that in front of the Director General of Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. I used to work there and everything. I did it in front of a senator. They came into the office. People were panicking. I said, panicking for what? Let them come. So they came. I told them, quiet. I wasn't talking. When they came, I said, studio is live. They stood attention, and I talked. And because of the way I talked, the DJ said, this guy's going to be presenting all of the programs because of the confidence. So I didn't put, radio is my preference. But Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is the thing. That's why when you said, how do you break away from the box? You do everything at once. You should have gone to those TV stations. Because if you put your destiny in the hands of someone who is so limited in thinking, all I have to do is to watch Teju Babyface show. I know that this guy is a good MC. When I call you, hey, I want you to MC something. But they'll see you on the show and say, do you do MC? Duh.
It's as if you were there. Hello, Teju Babyface. Do you MC?
Do you do MC sometimes? Meanwhile, I tell them, I say, my main job is MC.
That's where I came from.
All these ones are hobbies.
That's where I came from.
That's it. So, the thing is, people put me in a box, but fortunately, that box, like if they see Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I'm dressed in suit and everything, already they just say he can MC. You understand? So it's not like a box. But I've been able to break because I'm a radio presenter. I'm a news producer. I'm a newscaster. I do all kinds of things. I'm a narrator, voiceover artist and everything. So I've been a bit versatile, and people that know. So I wouldn't say I'm in a box, unless maybe I want to go and do something as far-flung as maybe acting. And people have been telling, after the macaroni thing, I had 3 offers for acting. I said, I should act? I said, absolutely not.
I'm the only one who does that thing.
Yeah.
This is the first time in history that somebody has done absolutely not to me.
Yes.
Well done.
That's it. No, absolutely not. Because I don't regard myself as I saw you in that movie with RMD.
Yeah, Diamond Ring.
I can't put those 2 characters together because it was a dramatic role for you, and it must have been tasking for you.
Oh boy.
Must have been tasking for you. So that's acting. I'm looking at you now. I can't relate. But me, I don't think I have that spectrum. I can only do things right up my alley. But to go into something as deep like Chris Rock being a comedian, but doing one emotional role like that.
Okay, so I get it. So for you, the struggle was there, but it was easier to conquer because everything was in the vein.
It was in that vein. It was right up that alley.
I get that.
Right up that alley.
Okay.
So unless I want to do something far-flung,
okay.
I mean, it's not a box for me. It just worked out the way it's supposed to work out. Yes.
Awesome. So as of now,
did I beat
by far? You tear
Lamborghini. Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Bro, Frank, God bless you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. I wish you all the success.
Thank you.
I'm calling on corporate entities, although they will not hear me as usual. Put money on podcasts. I've seen podcasts. This little, see, it's a no-brainer. Like banks. Banks will say, oh, we're supporting small-scale businesses, but we have small-scale podcasts that you can put your money on. You have big podcasts. Give this guy money. Let him get a set. Let him get a magnificent thing. Then sometimes he can push your products and services and you grow with him. But when he's now big and everything is, there's no space for it, that's when you will now come and say this. Corporate entities in Nigeria, and I know they try. Put money in entertainment and they'll go to an influencer and say, hey, just tweet something for it. They want to have sense. According to that voice note, you say you get sense.
Well,
you say they wise. You say they wise. So corporate entities, put your money in this small scale entertainment projects. You see an artist coming up, you should try and help. Ferret out all these people. But the established ones, like you see as an established person in entertainment like Teju Babyface, put money on his podcast because Teju Babyface has no option than to succeed.
You heard?
That's it.
He collect 3. I'm not saying but don't collect 3 or 4 for handshake for this podcast. Bad guy. Thank you.
Yeah. No sweat, man. No sweat. Yeah. Oh man, come on now. I don't do interviews because the first question the interviewer asks me is, let us meet you. Very annoying. I say, let us meet you. I say, it's too late for that. You've met me already. It's too late.